progressive groups are spending millions in Virginia trying to get Ralph Northam elected as the governor, but are they putting money where black folks are? Black folks make up 20% of all voters there in Virginia, but you're not seeing the money. Joining us via Skype from San Francisco is Steve Phillips, founder of Democracy in Color. Steve, you wrote a piece in The Nation where you talked about this, where Virginia, they keep going after these white voters, hoping they turn out, not putting money where black folks are. It's like Democrats somehow can't learn the same lesson and they keep not paying attention. Did they not see what happened when Hillary Clinton lost, when they kept chasing white voters and not putting the resources where black folks are?
Yeah, well, sadly, the lesson too many people have drawn is that they didn't chase white conservative voters enough. And so it's most stark in Virginia, perhaps of almost all states that were contested in last year's election. The majority of Hillary Clinton's voters in 2016 were people of color, the absolute majority. And that number, because there's drop off in the non-presidential election years, more people of color voted for Hillary than voted for the Republican nominee for governor in 2013. So technically, if you got all of Hillary's people of color to turn out and vote again in this governor's race, you wouldn't need any white votes. I mean, fortunately, there are a lot of progressive whites there that we can actually move forward with, but those numbers show where the priority should be, but that is not what the election has been about, and that's not who they've been going after.
So when you talk to these white progressives, what are they saying?
Well, the whole thrust of the Democratic Party and the progressive movement has really been all about what can they do to get back these Trump voters and to try to show them the error of their ways. And so a lot of what the theme and the thrust of the politics and the advertising and the spending has been about is to try to paint the Republican nominee as too extreme by trying to tie him to Trump's excesses. But as we've seen, the majority of those folks who backed him, or people who backed him, are happy with what he's doing. And so the path to victory is to organize the majority coalition, which is people of color and progressive whites, and to move the money there. The black folks have only gotten about $1 million out of the $15 million that's already been allocated. And you said they're 20% of the electorate, which is true, but 37% are Democratic voters. And so it's almost
and not only that, you got a black guy running as lieutenant governor. You might want to take advantage of that.
And not only that, you had the one of the lit pieces that they did literally cut him out of the piece. And so there's a piece circulating on the internet showing one walk piece that lists the 3 statewide candidates and another one that only has the 2 white statewide candidates. People who have given money in the past in the lieutenant governor's race when it was a white candidate have not given to Justin Fairfax in his race, which is another piece around how actually can inspire and mobilize the turnout. So it's not just like be nice to black people. The question is, do you want to win? The numbers show that this is where you need to move the money, and that's not what people are doing.
Steve Phillips, we appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Greg Carr, very simple. White Democrats being white.
Roland, I have a lot of respect for Steve Phillips, man. He's done a lot of work. And as you've shown on this show over and over again, whether it be Steve, whether it be Cordell Belcher, these people want to ignore reality, chasing this white dream, as you said. I mean, come on. What they did last week, Tom Perez and those courageless, gutless people in the Democratic National Committee trying to turn away again from the black and brown folks, they're going to end up paying on this. Last week, this time, you had Justin Fairfax here in this studio, and that was the day when he found out they left him off the thing. This guy has too much class to open his mouth, but we can call the thing as it is. They expect black people to continue in this hostage situation, and all they're going to do is increasingly endanger us. This has to end at some point, but apparently they don't have any interest in winning.
Maria?
The demographics of this country are changing, but yet both parties still seem to behave as if it's 1972. The reality of minorities and people of color in this country, and we're growing, our voting interests are growing. Both parties need to pay attention, but for some reason we keep chasing this ideology that only white voters are who we need to be focused on, and this was an insult to all of us.
All right, hold tight 1 second, folks.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong. He
Unfiltered.
wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV 1.